I want to thank everybody for being here today. Before we get started, I just want to say, I know Bud's team's really playing very, very well right now, and I know he's excited about their way they're playing. I know they had a rough one, but was it 5 out of 7, Coach, or 6 out of 8? So his team's playing very well, and so really fun to watch. Wanted to talk a little bit about our team. I was thinking about a couple things. A lot of basketball people in this room. So one of the things I want to share with you that I was looking at last night, one of the things that we have been able to do here is we've gone to 9 NCAA tournaments, obviously, in 12 years. We've gone to 5 in 7 years. But I want to give you an example of how hard it is. Let's take Davidson basketball. I was asking Phil, I said, how good is Davidson? We were talking, right? Davidson's really good. And 2 years ago, Davidson was in the Sweet 16. We all saw that. They were a jump shot away from going to the Final Four. Davidson's right now 2-5 in the Southern Conference, and they're 8-10. Radford right now is 1-6 in our league, and 2 years ago played North Carolina in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So my point is, one of the things that we have to continue to do is it's really, really hard not only to win a championship, but it's really, really hard to win back-to-back championships because you're a bullseye. So for us, here's kind of where we are. We didn't have a really good weekend, but, I think the thing about it is you learn a lot about your team. And so there's a couple things that I learned. Actually, I've learned a lot about our team in the last week. We went and played Coastal. Coastal's probably has as much talent as anyone in the league, maybe the most. And against Coastal and Charleston Southern, in both games with less than a minute to go, it was a 2-point game. Against Coastal, Robbie Dreer made one of the best steals I've ever seen. A guy came from behind him and stole it that he couldn't have seen him. The other night, it's a 2-point game with 38 seconds to go. Shot clock is winding down. We get called for a touch foul. So, that game ends up being a 9-point game, but it's really not a 9-point game. So here's kind of where we are in this whole thing. I told our team, and I believe this, I'm a big believer that in every basketball season, you're going to hit adversity. And how you handle the adversity, to me, really says a lot about what you do. I mean, the championships we've won here, we've won them under severe adversity. And so I'm not going to tell you I like it, but because I just know it's part of being successful. So here's the situation where this team is really different. Statistically, I've gone back to the last 3 years. This team this year is averaging more points than any team at Winthrop in the last 4 years. We're averaging 67 points a game. It's more than the last 3 years. This team is giving up 69. We're giving up more points in any time in my career as a head coach than we have at any time. We're also more potent offensively. And so when I went back and looked at it, our first year we went to the NCAA tournament, I think our opponent averaged 58 points a game. We averaged 64. My second year, our opponent averaged 64 points a game. We did not go to the NCAA tournament. Last year, our opponent averaged 55 points a game. We averaged 64, which goes to what I'm just saying about the more possessions of offense creates some more possessions of defense. We got to get, our pride has got to get a little bit better defensively. We're not bad. We're third in the league in rebound and defensive field goal percentage. I don't want to be third. I want to be first, and we're going to be first when this thing is over. The biggest issue that we have right now is we're 7th in the league in rebound margin. We're -2. Last year, we were 2nd in the league at plus 5.6. When we win, our opponents are getting 8 points a game off second shots. When we lose, our opponents are getting 14.4 off second shots. So rebounding is certainly an issue. And I kind of tell them, but like with the Miami Heat, on their locker room it says no rebounds, no rings. You know, if you don't rebound, it's going to be really, really difficult to be a champion. So we've got some things we got to do. We're settling for jump shots a little bit. And so I'm dealing with that in a certain manner. And, you know, we're just coming back at home. We've got Radford on Thursday in High Point. Certainly hope we'll have a great crowd. Radford's size is really, really good. They're really big. They're inexperienced. You know, they're going to play us zone. They're going to play 40 minutes zone. And it's kind of like 2 years ago, we saw more zone this weekend. But I think they got a 7-footer inside. They got a lot of length. We're going to have to make shots, and we're going to make them. We're going to have to score inside, and that's something that we've got to do. And then the other thing, we got High Point on Saturday. They're young. They're one of those teams that's dangerous. They're very talented. They're very quick. They're athletic. They push it, and they're wild. And so, you know, we'll get to that one on Saturday. But this is certainly a big game for us, these two games coming up. So just we got to all stay together. We got to keep working. You know, the one thing about the NCAA tournament, oops, it's not decided now. So anyway, it's about how things went this past week. Smartest guy in a dumb class, right?